Dr. Jeremy Busch, Performance Sport and Spine, here for your Tuesday tip. We're going to be talking about Kolar wall bugs. This was from an article off of flexibilityrx.com by Kevin Kula. It's a really good read, pretty detailed, and it's a great breathing and core stabilization exercise. This is good for a pre-workout, prehab, warm-up. Breathing is going to affect a few things: low back stabilization, mid-back flexibility, scapular stability, and shoulder internal and external range of motion. Now, what dysfunctional breathing can do for our athletes, right now, for example, CrossFit, Olympic lifters, it's going to take and reduce the amount of weight that you can squat or deadlift. It's going to limit the mid-back flexibility that you'll need for that front rack position. It's going to destabilize the shoulder blade, restricting shoulder flexion. And it's also going to impair your shoulder rotation for certain lifts like snatch or overhead squat. So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate this Kolar wall bug. Stu McGill, who's one of the lead researchers in low back stabilization, he coins a phrase, it's a super stiff phenomenon. When you have uncoordinated movement patterns, all the muscles are going to fire. And what you're going to have is a loss of motor function. That's where you get that rigid, everything's got to lock in. This exercise is going to be great to help teach you to properly move, keeping stability through all the core and trunk, but still allowing some degree of motion for the ribs to expand, into the abdomen to move, core muscles. So Whitney is going to be our demonstration here. So Whitney, what I'd like you to do is actually reach up overhead, and I'm going to have your hands on the wall. You're going to be pushing off the wall. What this is going to allow you to do is actually feel all the core activation, and core is going to go pretty much from the base of the pelvis all the way up to the tops of the shoulders, that whole mid-back stability. When you push off of here, it's going to fire all those axial trunk muscles, so that's going to help you feel what you should in that core contraction. And then I'm also going to have you do just a little posterior pelvic tilt. It's going to be flattening off that mid-back, flattening off this low back up against the table. We don't want any space here, any air gap here. And then 3 levels. Level 1, she's going to hold this position, pushing off the wall, focusing on her breathing. When she breathes in, she wants the stomach to rise. When she breathes out, she wants the stomach to contract. That's the proper breathing. Outside of that, you're going to get into some paradoxical issues and you're going to lose the motions we discussed earlier. But level 1, just slowly march the feet out into that extended position. And what she's going to be paying attention to is her breathing, making sure when she breathes in, that she's getting proper movement, and when she breathes out, she's getting proper motion. And she's also going to pay attention to this low back, keeping that glued against the table, not allowing this to pin up. If she reaches a threshold that becomes a challenge where she's going to lose one of those, that's her stop for the day. She's just going to continue to walk it back up, and she's going to take it back out to that threshold and try to identify a new level. Level 2, if she masters level 1, flatten that back against the table, push against the wall, lift the knees up to a 90-90 position. Maintaining the same 2 key focuses, breathing pattern and low back stability, she's just going to march one leg at a time, tapping the table. Good, and bring it up. Paying attention to the low back, making sure it's glued on the table, and paying attention to breathing. Remember Stu McGill with that super stiff phenomenon. If she's not moving her abdominal area when she's breathing, that means everything is firing. That's not safe. When she masters this, level 3 is going to be a combination of the prior 2, and she's going to straighten a leg like she's doing a leg lift. Go ahead and take one leg out just above the table, but don't let it rest. Now bring it back. This is a very challenging one, keeping same 2 focuses. Low back up against the table, breathing rate, keeping that same breathing pattern coming in and out. Go ahead and let it relax. So this is great as prehab. This is going to help you focus on your lifts. It's going to help release the low back as far as injuries that can happen there, mid-back flexibility, proper stabilization of the shoulder blades, and proper shoulder range of motion to make sure that you can lift without injury. This is Dr. Jeremy Busch from Performance Sport and Spine for your Tuesday tip.